How did Vietnam War air campaigns impact aircrews? Imagine flying hundreds of missions over a heavily defended enemy territory, constantly facing the threat of enemy fighters and missile attacks. That's what aircrews experienced during the Vietnam War. The air campaigns, like Operation Rolling Thunder and the Linebacker operations, shaped their lives in many ways. These campaigns involved thousands of sorties, with over 300,000 flights by U.S. Air Force, Navy, and Marine Corps pilots from 1965 to 1968. They targeted North Vietnam's military bases, supply routes, and transportation hubs, demanding nonstop flying. This high tempo meant aircrews were always on alert, often exhausted from long missions and intense flying hours. North Vietnam's defenses were tough. They had Soviet and Chinese aid, providing advanced MiG fighter jets and surface-to-air missile systems. These missiles could shoot down aircraft from a distance, making flying missions very dangerous. By late 1965, more than 180 aircraft had been lost during Operation Rolling Thunder alone. Many airmen were killed, captured, or went missing in action. The constant danger created a lot of psychological stress for pilots and crews, who often worried about being shot down or captured. The missions also changed how pilots flew. The U.S. military was used to nuclear deterrence and high-altitude bombing, but in Vietnam, they had to adapt. They started flying at lower altitudes to get better accuracy and avoid enemy missiles. Forward air controllers in small planes played a key role by guiding fighter bombers to their targets on the ground. This made missions more effective but also more dangerous for the pilots. They had to develop new tactics to survive and succeed in this heavily defended environment. Rules of engagement and political restrictions also affected how aircrews operated. Sometimes they couldn't target certain areas or increase bombing because of Cold War politics. This frustrated many pilots, who felt their efforts were limited by these restrictions. The stress of constant enemy fire, the loss of comrades, and the uncertainty of whether their missions made a difference weighed heavily on their minds. Many faced trauma from being shot down or captured, enduring harsh conditions as prisoners of war. Despite these hardships, aircrews proved their importance. Operations like Linebacker I and Roman II in 1970 showed how air power could influence ground battles and political talks. These missions, though costly in aircraft and lives, demonstrated the vital role of air campaigns. The experiences gained led to changes in training, tactics, and equipment for future military aviation. Lessons learned about enemy defenses and aerial combat shaped how the Air Force approached future conflicts. Overall, the Vietnam War air campaigns deeply affected the men flying those missions, exposing them to intense combat, forcing tactical changes, and leaving lasting marks on aerial warfare.